Trends. Let's talk about trends. G'day, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kathy. For all my return visitors, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys coming back. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I should probably put out a disclaimer. This is most likely going to be a bit of a rant, and it's possible I might even swear in this video, so just a heads up. Okay, trends. I'm going to give you a bit of background first. I have really only been looking after plants for about 18 months. I started around March last year. The reason I got into plants has nothing to do with trends. It was in relation to other things that were going on in my life at the time. So I'm fairly new to plants and even newer to YouTube. In fact, I never use YouTube except for instructional videos, say in relation to knitting or a product I might have bought. But after I got into plants, whenever I did some research, quite often Google would recommend a video. Now, I actually prefer to read articles or blogs, so I wouldn't bother with the video. But occasionally, I couldn't find out any information on a particular plant except through a video, which is how I started watching YouTube, and in particular plant YouTubers. This was probably around 8 months ago. Not that long really, is it? And for the longest time, I think all I did was just watch videos. I never really commented or liked or subscribed to any channel. And then I came across this tag, Planty Kindness Project. It's a tag that was started by another plant YouTuber, Pammy's Planty Things. And I really loved the concept of being kind to each other. It was really only after that that I realized how wonderful the plant community was. And I found myself wanting to be a part of it. I just love the way the community is so supportive of each other. I love how they share information. I love how they're always looking to help everyone out. I just thought it was wonderful. What I don't like, however, is this push that we follow trends, consumerism, that plants are trendy. I hate that. It is so prevalent in every other aspect of our lives that I really disliked finding it also in the plant community. Sometimes it didn't seem to be a love for plants that was driving certain channels. It appeared to be more, oh, this is trendy and you must have it. But then I've never liked trends. That is true. In fact, my brother often despaired that I was the most unfashionable person he ever knew, whereas he was the kind of person who would follow every trend. I often said to him that if it was trending to walk off a pier, he probably would. Yeah. So I do understand that not everyone's like me, that certain people really love trends and love following them and have to have what is fashionable. And yet, I've read so many comments where people say things like, if I don't have this plant, I will die. Or, I must have this plant or my life will be ruined. Now, I know that it's exaggerations and I know that they know that too. But there is a grain of truth to it. People feel that if they cannot have something, whatever it is, be it a plant or something else, then somehow there's something wrong with them, that they're somehow less important or less valuable than somebody who does have that. Now, it's true that trends can be innocuous, but when they involve money and large amounts of money, then trends can be dangerous. And that's the problem with trends. There's usually an ulterior motive. Not always. Sometimes somebody does something, people like it, it catches on. But many times when a trend is started, there's a motive for it, and it's usually money. It's usually to sell something. In the plant community, it might be because they own a plant shop, or they're selling a particular product, or they may get a kickback or a free product. And I think we need to step back and think about why people are saying this is the it plant. Who the hell gets to decide it's the it plant? We should decide what the it plant is for us, nobody else. But there's always going to be trendsetters, influencers. Oh, I hate that term. But regardless, there are always going to be influencers who appeal to a large audience, who perhaps want to emulate them, whatever it is, and then will follow whatever they say. And that always concerns me. That influencer may have an ulterior motive, and yet it seems a lot of people don't see that, or perhaps don't want to see that. And now please don't think that I can't be swayed by trends. Of course I can. Everyone can. But when I go to buy something, whatever it is, I will step back and think about it. And I think that's what I want all of us to do, is step back and think about why we're buying, in this instance, a plant. I would hope that we are buying it because we love it, not because somebody decided it's trendy. The point I'm trying to get across is to not allow ourselves to be swept up in this consumerism, in what is trendy. It really diminishes why we love plants, why we want to have plants in our homes, which is to connect to nature, to feel that we have some part of nature close to us, because we live in such urban jungles at the moment, because we are surrounded by so much concrete and cold metal, and this is something beautiful and green and living. I feel like we have lost sight of that. We have lost sight of the fact that our plants, all of them, are beautiful. Every single one. Now tell me this isn't beautiful. It's just a little peperomia, but I think it is wonderful. It is unique. Every single leaf is unique, just like people. No two leaves are the same. No two people are the same. We all have some differences which make us unique and individual. And I love that about humanity, and I love that about plants. But that doesn't seem to be enough. We only seem to be interested in acquiring the next best thing, because that is what capitalism is all about. It's about getting us to buy more and more and more, and never being satisfied with what we have. And I truly believe that any influencer, trendsetter, whatever you want to call it, who has a following anyway, they also have a responsibility not to push trends towards those who are perhaps more easily swayed or susceptible, particularly if it involves a lot of money. And yet that is what I am seeing in the plant community. This push for variegated plants or rare plants, which most often are actually not rare. And I see that a lot of people are going down that road of buying these rare plants that are costing a fortune. And that leads me on to rare. I don't know about you guys, but I am sick and tired of hearing the term rare. And I have seen a lot of talk in the community about the term being used inaccurately to sell something or as clickbait, and I agree with that. I think there's this view that if we talk about common plants, if it's not expensive or rare, then no one will watch these videos or want to buy this product, which just bugs the crap out of me. It's far as I'm concerned, every single plant is beautiful in its own way. And this little peperomia is just as valuable and just as worthy as any plant that costs, say, $1,000. Being rare does not make it better. Being expensive does not make it better. But that's what we're constantly told. That if it's expensive, then it is better. No. This is capitalism. This is marketing to get us to believe that if we don't want something that is expensive, then there's something wrong with us. That if we buy cheap products or common houseplants, that there is something wrong with us. And I call bullshit. There is nothing wrong with us. There is nothing wrong with loving or admiring our common houseplants. Nobody should decide for us what we love or admire or what we consider worthy or valuable. This is simply sales techniques to get us to spend more money. And this term rare is just another example of marketing. It is bandied around far too easily. And I'm saying don't buy it, because it's not true. Because a lot of the plants that people call rare are actually not. They may not grow in a particular region in the world, but in other regions they grow like weeds. If they grow like weeds, then they are not rare. Rare means uncommon. Hard to find, not hard for me to buy. At the moment, toilet paper is scarce. Doesn't make it rare. My point is that the demand for something does not determine whether it is rare or not. Because as far as I'm concerned, if something truly is rare, then it should not be in the hands of one individual, unless they're a botanist. I would prefer that rare plants go to a botanical society, because at least then they will share it with us. And when I say share, I'm not talking about them giving us cuttings. I'm talking about being able to see something that is rare. I don't want it to become something like certain pieces of artwork which are in private collections that we will never see again. Plants should not be coveted. They shouldn't be something hidden away just so somebody can say, well, I own this and you don't. Therefore, I'm better than you. No. But unfortunately, that's how we value people. It's what we own, not who we are or what we do. That's why nurses are paid a pittance, and yet models who contribute nothing to this world, are paid fortunes. Explain that to me, because God knows I don't understand it. We value the wrong things in this world and the wrong people. I have been saying this for decades. We don't value what is truly worthy. And I feel that the plant community is going down that path, if it hasn't already. That it's all about how expensive your plants are, or how rare your plants are. And it's not about a love for plants. It is becoming a status symbol, a commodity. And that leads me on to price gouging. I have heard so many sellers recently talking about, well, it's COVID and there's a demand and yet there's no supply, so we have to increase our prices. I call bullshit. You do not have to charge exorbitant prices because there's a demand or not enough supply or the market will bear it. I say that these sellers are simply being greedy at a time when people are suffering. Prices have increased because of COVID, yes, because of shipping delays or extra requirements, whatever it is, yes, prices will increase to some degree, but not the inflated prices that we are seeing. The justifications or rationalizations that sellers are using are simply rhetoric. It is capitalism at its absolute worst. It is ruthless and unscrupulous, and it is simply for them to make more money, which is why we have billionaires. People are starving. People are homeless. People can't get health cover, and yet we have billionaires who actually made money during COVID. Now, I am not saying that people should not be recompensed for the work they do, saying importing a plant or rehabilitating a plant or growing cuttings, whatever it is. Of course they should. What I am saying, however, is that recompense, the money they receive, should be commensurate with the amount of work they do and not be based on, well, it's a crazy market, so I can charge whatever the hell I like. No. That is people trying to rip us off. And if you want to rip me off, I prefer you be honest about it. It blows my mind. Just the utter greed I am seeing. People are truly suffering during this time. They're losing loved ones, they've lost their jobs, some are even losing their homes. And yet people don't care. They just want to make more money at the expense of other people. Shame on them. That's what I say. Shame on them. On all of them who are charging these exorbitant prices. Shame on them. And as if that isn't bad enough, now we're having auctions for a plant. Why the hell are plants being auctioned? They're not a commodity. They're a living thing. I wonder if they could talk. They're saying, we're enslaved. Oh, God. I really wish we would all just get together, all of us in the plant community, and just tell all these sellers to take a bloody flying leap. That we will not pay those prices. Because if we did, then all these sellers would be forced to drop them. I haven't been a member of this plant community for very long, but I have definitely seen a shift. Avarice, greed, is just running rampant. And people don't talk about it. I don't understand that. I mean, I've seen a few people, but the majority don't talk about it. It's like, well, I don't want to upset the apple cart, so I'll shut up. Hell no! I can't shut up about anything. Particularly if I see an injustice or people getting ripped off, which is what is happening. We've turned our beautiful plants into commodities. And I absolutely hate that. Because then plants will only be for the elite. And they shouldn't be. Because plants are nature's gift to all of us. Okay, I think I've ranted enough. This is one person's opinion, and that's it. You don't have to agree, and in fact, if you don't, you're welcome to leave a comment below. Just keep it polite, that's all I ask. I've always liked debates, and I'm not always right, of course, no one is. But I'm always interested in hearing other people's perspectives. Well, thanks very much for watching. That's really all I had to say today. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. You can even give it a thumbs down if you like. I really don't mind. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel or you can unsubscribe. It's entirely up to you. I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Until next time, take care, guys. Bye.